Hello and welcome back to Beyond the Veil background information. We're doing a character profile today, and I'm going to introduce you to my characters from Reciprocity, which is a big long series I'm doing on Wattpad. So there'll be a Wattpad link in the description because you can go there and actually read the censored versions of the story for free on Wattpad. I'm planning what I'm going to do with this is because Patreon get the uncensored version, so a lot of things that I'm because with Wattpad you have to be careful with some things that you put on there, and I don't want to put romance scenes on there in particular, whereas I'm content doing that with Patreon. Um, I've decided I'm going to be releasing it in once I've got the first 25 chapters done. I say chapters, they're more like episodes. They're about 20 pages each. I'll release the first 10 as a volume and do it like that. It's a long running. Supposed to be a long running series that first you think you're looking into just this one character and their thing, and then it starts building bigger and then bigger, and then it's like, what have we got ourselves into? And I really enjoy it. And the characters I really enjoy too. So I've already done several. I've actually got drawings of them, which are still bad drawings, but as you'll see, one of my best cheetahs I've ever drawn is the picture for this one, and that's because Rufio is a were-cheetah. But yeah, I do profiles for these guys that are for free to see. They're on my Patreon for free to see. I'll link them too, but also on my Ko-fi page, which I'll put a link to anyway for you, and on my DeviantArt page as well. And yeah, so there's information around for them as well as Ko-fi and DeviantArt. I put up a little preview of a chapter as well, so hopefully I will get you interested in them. So let's get into this. Right. Okay, so bleep. Why is it always you? Please don't give me one of your happy speeches about how I can make the world a better place if only I try. Quote from Reciprocity. So, I wanted a long term project in the Vale universe where I could introduce a lot of different creatures and an overarching plot. I was writing big block chapters that I ended up pushing up as episodes on Wattpad, and there will be a link below to read the censored chapters on Wattpad, although Patreon gets it all uncensored. I also thought to give it a bit of a mixed world of different types of people, so it felt more real to the world I was building and knowing. So I had a sort of idea to focus on something that had been a background thing in my stuff and didn't have too much romance, but a lot of family aspects, a big mystery and the threat of doom and destruction from the realm of demons to come. Thus I created Reciprocity, and then I thought, I don't want the hero to be someone that you read and think typical protagonist. I wanted a pure idiot who stumbles into it by accident, thinks things are kind of cool, but doesn't realize how quickly he sort of ended up becoming a hero and involved in bigger plots. Thus, I created Rufio, the idiot, rebellious, elder teen adult who hasn't really got a direction in life but needs one. In the very first chapter, he's in trouble for the ridiculous rules he breaks on his motorbike, only to overhear something odd and decide maybe his elder twin was right, and the Anders they were living with were wrong in trying to make him something he was not, and so he went to his mother, the gender shifting Kitsune drag queen and doctor who was formerly one on the wrong side, Vix. When I get to Vix, you will know. Rufio is tons of fun to play with. He's not a bad kid. He tries too hard to be cool, and when he's not trying, he's a good friend and tons of fun. He and his brother also torment the shig out of each other. I have lots of fun with Rufio just being himself and not trying to make him this straightforward good guy, but letting him be a goofball, and like most 18-year-olds, pushed into the adult world when really there's still quite a bit of maturing to do. Plus, the fact he does everything he can to make sure his parole officer doesn't become his new stepdad is actually very funny. He can be quite a brat, and well, I can't hate him or anyone else in this story, except some of the bad guys, for obvious reasons. He and the other members of Reciprocity have varied profiles on my various places from Patreon to Ko-fi to DeviantArt, so they've all got character pictures of their transformed form or more demonic form. I should have mentioned he's a werewolf. He's a were-cheetah, so he shapeshifted into a cheetah. If you remember from my things about werecats, Were-cheetahs don't exactly exist as a separate thing. There's a reason for that, and I can't reveal it because that will reveal something later on in the story, which I'm not going to reveal till like that's what like chapter 50, something like that. So quite late on. But you can read all the current 13, 14 episodes for free, censored though on Wattpad, and I've put the link in the pro. I've put the link to it in the on the Patreon bit as well, so you can when you looked at if you want to look at the script, you can see you can get the link there, but I will put it in the description here. So name Rufio Perdido, sometimes Rufio Anders. Position special police cadet in training. Story featured in Reciprocity. Role main character gender male. Description 6 foot 7 for height, dyed red hair, kept short, red eyes, athletic, light olive skin, hair usually spiked at the front, and wears torn jeans and t-shirts most of the time when he's not wrapped up in Nevers on a motorbike with his red helmet and its cheetah printed picture on it. Realm, the Veil. Abilities, Were-cheetah, so he can shapeshift into a cheetah at times to run from things. He has a fast metabolism, so needs to eat a lot, and has good hearing as well as a good sense of balance. But he has absolutely no ability to see in the dark, and his nose is only a little bit better than a human's because cheetahs are actually kind of pathetic like that. Master, the Almighty. Personality, cheeky, opportunistic, a bit ditzy. Tries to be good if it will benefit him, and needy. He is quite needy. He's a baby. Relations. Son of Dr. Vix Perdido, though actual father is unknown, deemed his original father to be Hernando Miranda. The younger twin of Sorin, foster child of Hank and Beth Anders, adopted grandson to Dr. Ken Matthews. I love Kenny. They call him Grampy. He is brilliant. History. Rufio's entire history is up in the air. Initially told that during the time of the faction wars between the Apollon militia that won and the failed Brotherhood that lost, his mother had gotten pregnant with twins and been unable to look after them. Getting involved in the Brotherhood as a medical officer, and the Apollon, working with the government at the time, took the boys into social services and they were raised by the Anders. There are weird gaps in his memory that do not make sense, and when he was 11, he and his brother were in a car accident with the Anders, where the physician who saved them was Dr. Perdido. Despite the fact Vix appears as human, Vix appears as a man, Rufio and Sorin knew straight away it was their mother. They were not permitted to visit Vix until they were 14, but during this period, the understanding that their mother had not wanted them to leave and the tightening of rules in the Anders house in order to deal with teenagers meant Rufio got into a habit of acting out and doing what he shouldn't. He ended up failing high school, so was put back into a program to regain the points to graduate, only to have his motorbike impounded for reckless driving when he overheard that there was much more going on with his separation from his mother than was assumed, causing him to escape the Anders and move in with his mother and it seems brother. Here, his parole officer gives the option that he can join a community support officer program to replace school and prevent him getting into more trouble. But when he starts getting into it and living with his mother, he starts to learn there's much more to what happened with the factions than the militia being the good guys and the Brotherhood being the bad guys. Final comments. Reciprocity has been a monthly project that takes a lot of time, but I really get into it and have fun with it. I'm planning that once I've finished the draft of chapter 25, the first 10 parts will be released on Kindle as a volume 1, and there will be 10 volumes total. It's a really fun story and builds more and more so. You quickly grow to love these guys. Also, just the dynamic between Rufio and Sorin, they're so friggin' hilarious. Like, brothers are bratty, but like, it's so funny. But anyway, I hope it will intrigue you and interest you. So, thank you for listening.